Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, July 30th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of AEW Collision, broadcast live on TNT from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. In the main event, FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood retain the AEW World Tag Team Championship, defeating Adam Cole and AEW World Champion MJF in 17 minutes and 53 seconds.
Heat Seeker block, O'Connor, 2, and Harwood!
The winners of this match and still the AEW World Tag Team Champions, FTR.
It's been so long since we've seen MJF, our world champion, been pinned. MJF, one of the most selfless acts he's ever done. He saved Adam Cole from the Shatter Machine.
Harwood becomes the first man since Wardlow in May of last year to pin MJF. After the match, MJF became emotional, blaming himself for the loss before contemplating hitting Cole from behind with his title belt.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Just do it, Bedbats.
Instead, both MJF and Cole listened to the fans' advice and hugged it out. For FTR, it was their third defense of their second reign as champions. During an interview segment involving CM Punk, he revealed what's in the red bag he's been carrying around. It was the lineal AEW Championship belt he won from Jon Moxley last September. Punk spray-painted a black X across the faceplate of the championship belt and proclaimed himself the real world champion.
This X has represented CM Punk since 1997. This X is the foundation I have built my professional wrestling career on. This X means I'm straight edge, and straight edge means I'm better than you. This title is mine. It belongs on Collision, and this title is not stolen, unlike my catchphrase. I am the real world's champion.
Punk was then interrupted by Ricky Starks, who demanded a shot at Punk's title. Punk agreed to the match for next week's Collision in Greenville, South Carolina, with the caveat that Ricky Steamboat appears as the special guest referee. The show opened with Andrade El Idolo victorious over Buddy Matthews in a wild ladder match. Andrade pushed both Matthews and Julia Hart off a ladder through a table before retrieving the mask that the House of Black had stolen from him. Minoru Suzuki made a surprise appearance by accepting Darby Allin's open challenge. Allin got the victory, pinning Suzuki while being trapped in a chokehold. Former Ring of Honor World Women's Champion Mercedes Martinez made her return to AEW television for the first time in 363 days, defeating Kiera Hogan. After the match, Martinez continued to beat on Hogan, which led to TBS Women's Champion Chris Statlander attempting the save. Martinez turned her attention to Statlander, necessitating Willow Nightingale coming down to chase Martinez off. In other results, Bullet Club Gold's Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, and Juice Robinson defeated Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AAA Mega Champion Hijo del Vikingo. And in a non-title affair, ROH World Television Champion Samoa Joe quickly dispatched of Gravity. In ratings news, the overnight fast national ratings reveal that WWE SmackDown made a successful return to the Fox network a week after being moved to FS1 due to women's soccer. According to Spoiler TV, Friday night's episode averaged 2.166 million viewers and a .54 in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic. That's in line with what the show has been averaging in the overnight numbers. 2 weeks ago, SmackDown on Fox drew a .54 and averaged 2.158 million viewers for its overnight rating. That show ended up finishing with a final viewership average of 2.309 million and a .62 in the key demo. Final ratings numbers should be available on Monday afternoon. Taking a look at the West Coast, the first leg of Defy Wrestling Super 8 Grand Prix took place yesterday at Washington Hall in Seattle. The semifinals of the tournament consisted of two four-ways. Cody Chun defeated Shafe, Travis Williams, and Titus Alexander to advance, The other saw Clark Connors outlast Casey Navarro, Guillermo Rojas, and Evan Rivers. Chun and Connors meet in the finals of the Grand Prix taking place on August 12th. 2 title tilts also took place last night. Vert Vixen defeated Billy Starks to retain the Defy Women's Championship, and the Bollywood Boys knocked off the Billington Bulldogs to retain the Defy Tag Team title. 2 AEW performers also made appearances on the show. Jon Moxley returned to Defy and faced Artemis Spencer, and Christopher Daniels reprised his masked Curryman gimmick to defeat Miles DeVille. In entertainment news, AEW World Women's Champion Toni Storm will play the role of Clara Mortensen in the upcoming biopic Queen of the Ring, based on the true story of Mildred Millie Burke, according to a report yesterday from PW Insider. WWE's Liv Morgan had been expected to appear in the role of Mortensen, but has been replaced by Storm. NWA World Women's Champion Camille revealed last week that she'll be in the role of Burke's rival June Byers. Camille replaced Charlotte Flair, who was originally slated for the part. Actress Emily Brett Rickards is playing the role of Burke. And we close with this note from Japan. 01's 23rd annual tournament, the Fire Festival, came to a close on Saturday inside Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. The deciding match was won by Junya Matsunaga, who pinned Kengo Mishimo in 22 minutes and 54 seconds. It's the first tournament victory for the 27-year-old, who works for both DDT and the Big Japan promotion. It was also the first final for Mishino, who works regularly for the Active Advanced Wrestling promotion. Matsunaga is the 13th different winner in tournament history. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.